Boston community activist who faces federal fraud charges is asking a judge to schedule a change of plea hearing. Monica Cannon Grant and her husband Clark Grant founded the nonprofit called Violence in Boston. It had the mission to reduce violence and raise social awareness in Boston. Well, they're accused of defrauding the nonprofit and its donors.
Longtime Boston community activist Monica Cannon Grant pleaded guilty Monday to 18 of 27 counts in a scheme that federal prosecutors said involved her and her late husband pocketing thousands of dollars in donations to their nonprofit. Cannon Grant admitted to wire fraud conspiracy, mail fraud, filing false tax returns, and failing to file tax returns. She's due to be sentenced on January 29th of next year. Monica Cannon Grant repeatedly scammed multiple public financial programs and stole money donated by members of the public who believed their donations would aid in reducing violence and promote social awareness. Instead, Cannon Grant used donations to satisfy her own greed while falsely portraying herself as a legitimate non-profit organizer. So, for the longest time, I have breathed down people's necks about this gimmick, because at this point, it's a gimmick, about Black lives and how much they matter versus how much they don't matter. I have lamented, I have ranted, I have raved, I have begged people to understand that I'm not coming to you as an anti-Black, a raccoon, someone who wants to appease a bunch of white people. I'm coming to you as a Black person in 2025, 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, and 2019, asking a very simple question. How is it that my Black life doesn't fucking matter unless it fits in this weird checkbox that has something to do with a white person? How is it that an organization which didn't really do too much broadcasting Black life being taken from this world unjustly, unless it fit that checkbox, and even in those checkboxes, you only had, what, 2 dead bodies that y'all claim to care about in these past few years, George Floyd and Breonna Taylor? You couldn't find any other examples of people leaving this world unjustly or even unfairly? How is it that a guy could take his life and no one who claims to care about Black life and Black men and Black mental health had even thought about anything in regards to mental health? You went straight to it was a lynching because under no circumstances could a Black person hang themselves from a tree. Oh, because people who have mental issues are the most rational people under the sun. Oh, and by the way, I'm recording this, I believe, on the first day of October, and it's still not been confirmed by you great internet sleuths that a guy was lynched by white people and hung up in a tree. So as the days go on and the weeks go by and you motherfuckers clearly didn't have anything to back up the stupid shit you said, I would hope if you claim to care, you would see a moment to say, oops, my bad, instead of just sitting there hoping that you get like a crumb of information that even slightly proves that a white person was somewhere near him that day. You are a fucking moron and you don't care. But to bring it to this, it is disastrously annoying, sad, and pathetic that no one can get a fucking clue. An entire organization who had mansions purchased with people's money, thinking that that was going to benefit the Black race. I'm sorry, but a lot of people are still operating under the guise of being poor. So how the fuck are random women who start this organization or spearhead this organization buying mansions going to benefit the rest of the Black community? That's a question none of y'all seem to want it to answer.
So much clarity for me, a questioning for me. I don't know if I have clarity or answers yet, but I'm like, wow, this doesn't seem safe for us. This 990 structure, this nonprofit system structure, this is like deeply unsafe. Like this is being literally weaponized against us, against the people we work with. I can't tell you how many people are like, am I next? Like, are they going to do this to me? So there's not a lot of, that's like, when you know this, you run an organization, like people's morale in an organization is so important.
Yes.
But if their organization and the people in it are being attacked and scrutinized at everything they do, that leads to deep burnout. That leads to deep resistance and trauma. And so I think that other piece for me around, what I think is important for people to understand is, and it's connected to this question, but there is a misinformation and disinformation effort to not just challenge Black Lives Matter and the organization, but it's an experiment. If they win, then it's the next Black-led organization.
Yes, it is.
And then it's the next Black-led organization. And it's the next Black person who's leading that. And so it's so important that we pay attention to what's happening and we don't allow for, they have this they know what they're doing, like how to create the infighting, how to create the distrust. We have to stop it. We have to stop it before they do it. We have to shut it down. We have to be showing up against it. And so that has been really important to me too, like taking the time to kind of stand back and watch it happening and being like, oh, this is how this works. Like we are literally the experiment, right?
How is it that a woman could sit here and promise a bunch of people, hey, you give me money, we're going to do something to reduce violence? I don't know why giving money to a random fucking person is going to stop crime in a certain area, but surprise, surprise, it never fucking happened. How is it that after all this time, there will still be people who will say, I don't do too much in the guise of trying to protect the next generation of Black people. Oh, I'm a white person. I get constantly called racist by bitches with nose rings and piercings all over their fucking nipples. Oh yeah, I can sit here for a moment and still do something of note to help out the Black people. How is it that these people keep lining their pockets with their own greed and the ability to manipulate, and people still buy into it? It's embarrassing. It's fucking stupid. These people don't care. And one of you is going to be bold. And you're going to ask me, well, Leon, since you claim to care so much with your bright-eyed fucking deal, how about we start with this? Stop giving your money to motherfuckers who will only broadcast a dead Black person when it fits a random narrative that they have just to say fuck white people. How about instead of listening to a subsection of people who can only give you 2 examples and run with them forever about how Black people are underrepresented, Black people are always getting hunted down, and they can't give you anything else? Instead, invest your time into your community to better your community, because you need to start small, because doing shit like this is a lofty goal, and it creates that distrust that many people have with organizations, nonprofits, and anything in regards to doing good work, because it seems like it's a fucking routine as it pertains to wanting to do work is code for I need to sympathize with a bunch of gullible people so that I could get some fucking money.
When you look at what's going on now, it's not, the only difference is they're not physically hanging us or beating us anymore. Instead, they're putting chains on the mind, trying to convince us that we're still in the victim mentality. My ancestors would be ashamed of the radical agenda that the Democrats are pushing now. If y'all really care about Black people, why don't we see y'all in our communities helping us? Yeah. I tell you what conservatives has, they have Blexit. Yeah, Blexit, who are in inner city communities. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you want to say one side is racist? I don't know.
And you look at Black Lives Matter, for example. They burnt down the inner cities.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them businesses were owned by Black people who are now out of business. And they destroyed a lot of people's livelihoods. They didn't hurt the corporations and the big businesses too much because they have insurance, but this is where the people that got hurt.
Absolutely.
And they destroyed, in a lot of cases, their own communities and, enriched themselves.
Absolutely.
Got glorified on the media, and, now they're not there helping anybody.
Absolutely. And our people are just so blind to it, and it's just sad. And I think America, we have come so far. Have we done some not so great things? Absolutely. Yeah. Every country has. But this is the greatest country in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that just because I live here. You just look every other country in the world. No one has what we have.
I love this conversation, and I absolutely love how calm and civilized they were to be mature enough to have this conversation. But one thing I wanted to add was not only is Black Lives Matter not looking out for anybody and not doing anything but destroying the community, but they're also stealing from you. Lives Matter activists admits to conning donors to fund her lavish life. Monica Cannon Grant is a former Boston-based activist and founder of the now defunct nonprofit Violence in Boston, Inc. In late September 2025, she pleaded guilty to 18 federal fraud charges for misusing funds from her charity and government programs for her personal expenses. Her sentencing is scheduled for January 29, 2026. On September 22nd, 2025, Cannon Grant pled guilty to 18 of the 27 counts against her, including wire fraud, conspiracy wire fraud, mail fraud, filing false tax returns, and failing to file tax returns. Prosecutors revealed that Cannon Grant used money donated to her nonprofit for personal expenses. These included vacations, groceries, hotel stays, restaurant meals, and nail salon visits. She admitted to fraudulently obtaining pandemic unemployment assistance and COVID-19 relief funds, and to lying about her income to receive rental assistance. She also scammed money, including $3,000 from a BLM group, while claiming it was to help feed children and run protests like one in 2020 over the murder of George Floyd and police violence. Need I say more? And she's just one piece of the pie. Because let's not forget about this one. This one was in 2024, I believe. Former head of Black Lives Matter of Great Atlanta has been sentenced to prison on charges of wire fraud and money laundering. He stole George Floyd's donations and funds to go shopping. Yeah, so now you know why when people walk around talking about some Black Lives Matter, it's like, fuck that fucking organization. They built an organization to rally black folks to think that someone was supporting you just to use you like everybody else does. It's like, what the fuck? Yet y'all still rally behind your Democrats and your Black Lives Matter leaders.
I think what kills me is that I just said all that and nothing's going to change. There will be another moment where a bunch of people are going to get behind this idea of we're going to pretend to care about black lives because something went viral. People are going to miss every layer of context around it. People are going to ignore it. They're going to add in their own details because they're bored. There's going to be TikTok debates, Twitter debates, live streams on YouTube debates. All of these people are going to get information wrong. Somewhere in there, somebody's going to be foolish enough to say, donate to me because I'm going to be the one to solve this. And we will repeat this cycle again. And the sad part is somebody's watching this and they're very mad at me because how dare I criticize the struggling black scammer who's desperate to scam a bunch of people using dead black bodies and rhetoric surrounding dead black bodies. And to that person specifically, if you're bold enough to answer this question, I have something for you to answer. How is it that you spend dedicated time mad at me calling this shit out and you ain't got no fucking energy for this? How is it that I will be often labeled this makeshift furry dream of a raccoon because you don't have the fucking balls to see a scam in front of your fucking face and call it out? How is it that a black life don't mean shit if it's a man, a woman, a little boy, a little girl, unless it fits in a box where a bunch of motherfuckers who should be dead already are stepping in front of everybody to give nice proclamations and preaches about how the suffering in America will always continue for the black youth while we all sitting around getting a $5 box from Popeyes and Wendy's? What gimmick do you expect to have at that point? How do you expect people to trust in organizations if they keep coming up as scams? How do you expect people to actually believe in significant change and it being grassroots and it being done by community when the community is the one that's fucking it up the most? You can complain about that fat redneck that you only see once every 2 months, but guess what? That motherfucker's not really thinking about you. In this moment, I have problems with my community and how there will be people who will try their damnedest to sound like they care, but they are doing it at a means to an end, and their end is hoping that they could get away with all that shit that you have seen, with all the scams, all the reputation ruining, all the rhetoric opposed to by people who can't even structure a sentence past a point. And you expect me to just sit there, smile like a dumbass and say, we're getting the work done. What's changed? What's different? How the fuck did lives start mattering more or less? It didn't do anything. this piece of shit is not the only person who has done this. It's a catalog of these motherfuckers. And as I stated earlier in this video, the saddest part to me is that we're going to come to a point, again, you tried it with Trey Reed, but it didn't stick. So all of you motherfuckers who claim to care and you are for the people moved on to the next thing, because that's how much a black life doesn't fucking mean to any of you. But the next time this goes and it gains all this traction, I expect things like this to happen again. I expect somebody to proclaim that I have the ideas on how to save the community. And they do absolutely nothing. They line their pockets and they hope to get away with it. And eventually they won't be able to, because the money's not going to add up. The execution's not going to be there to back up all that money given to these people. And it's going to be the cycle repeating over and over and over again. And I guess I'll end it like I always end these types of videos. Damn, my black life really don't fucking matter unless I'm gunned down by some ugly ass white dude. Subscribe. Goodbye.